So the first rule I want you to remember as we go forward into this brave new world is to be fascinated by this stuff. Don't let it blow over your head. Don't say, I'm not that techie guy. I'm not interested in these things. You have to be interested in these things. These are going to change our world. The second one is when you figure out what's going on, be good. Do good. Get to the right place in the right way. And lastly, let's use this opportunity, this change in the world, to help each other, to do things so that we all end up in a better, happier place. Thank you very much.
14-year-old Mahir is watching fruit flies move around. He's like, wow, wouldn't it be cool if we had flying robots that moved like fruit flies did? So he entered the Google Science Fair, and he won. His project on making flying robots that mimic the movements of fruit flies won. And the next thing he knew, MIT and Stanford had called him, and they've made these flying robots, and they use them. Sorry, I get a little emotional about this. They use them to go into buildings to see if there's people alive in there after an earthquake. So at 14, this guy, nobody said to him, you're too young. He didn't say to himself, he's too young. He's saving lives because of not thinking about things based on age. We're sitting around saying, let's spend money talking to baby boomers, or to Generation X, or to millennials, or to this group of people, or that group of people. And what we've proven with this data is your age has nothing to do with how you're motivated, what you find valuable, what you want, what you need, what you expect out of life. Neither is your gender, neither is your race, or your marital status, or how much money you make. Instead, what you find most important is what is most motivating to you. And it kind of makes sense when you think about it. What you find most important in life is the thing that's going to help you make decisions about what to buy and who to hang out with and what you want to talk about. Seems to make sense. But there's never been a database about this before. It gives companies this very actionable information about how they should be talking about their product or their service. We have proof that values create an incredible alignment around all things. Our top 10, what we call Valuegraphic profiles, so these are kind of, you could think about them as replacements for these demographic categories of Generation X, Y, Z, Millennials, whatever. We still have to have a way to target stuff, right? We can't be all things to all people. So we found the top 10 most aligned value sets, and we can use these instead of those generalized categories of age. And these groups agree with each other on those 340 variables as much as 89% of the time. Boomers, 13% of the time. A values-based target audience, 89% of the time. That's remarkable. That's almost a polar opposite in terms of how aligned they are on all 340 different things that are in our database. I had people coming into my office and talking to me about how they needed to work on their work-life balance, that they thought they were working too much. Nobody seemed to think they weren't working enough. It was always interesting that they were working too much and that the balance had to be in the other direction. But anyway, there was this notion that you had to split these two things, that there was work and there was life. You know what? Why can't I work with my friends? And why can't my friends work for me? And why can't my friends and I have a company? And why can't I do all of those things at the same time? And maybe my life and my work should be integrated so that when I'm having a dinner party on Saturday, the first people I want to have over happen to be the same people I spent the whole week with. If you can set your life up so that it's an integrated life, then every day is a day off. You're only hanging out with the people you love. Everything's great. And I don't mean to make it sound like I've got the brass ring, but since I sold my company, this has been one of my prime directives, to quote Star Trek. I only want people in my life who I actually would be happy to sit and have a beer with in my living room. And I've done that. And so my friends are my clients are my friends, my employees are my friends are my employees. It's perfect. There's no reason to think about balance anymore. It's perfectly balanced, all day, every day. Prior to the first industrial revolution, the family was it was mom, dad, the kids, the aunts, the uncles, the nieces, the grannies, the grandparents, everybody. These giant extended families all lived together, which sounds hellish to me, but it is what it was. But this was very inconvenient for the industrial complex. They wanted to be able to move units of labor around quite conveniently. They wanted to take mom, dad, and the kids from this mine and move them over to that mine. So they convinced us all that the nuclear family was really what was important. And from that day forward till today, we still believe when someone says family, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about mom, dad, and the kids, because of the way the tools changed who we are as human beings. It's not about the tool, it's about how we walk through the world. It's about how we live through our days. Another quick example. Imagine trying to put together a shopping mall. And the shopping mall, your goal, your assignment from Don Forsgren, build me a shopping mall where every store appeals to millennials. It's going to be called the Mall of Millennials. What could you possibly put in there that every single millennial is going to enjoy? Were they all going to shop at the Gap? No. Are they all going to want a skateboard? No. Are they all going to want avocado toast? Maybe. But that's about the only one. You can't build a mall for millennials because millennials are as different from each other as they are from boomers and as you are from me and as you are from her. We're all different people. It has nothing to do with our age.